Good evening, folks. Welcome to my Constellation Tour number 38. This is Bill Breeden. Tonight we're going to talk about Scorpius, the Scorpion. And Scorpius is best viewed between June and August each year. So I've got Stellarium set up for August the 21st. And I have it set up for suburban viewing conditions. Now, Scorpius is one of my favorite constellations. It's right up there with Orion and Cygnus. It's just an amazing constellation. So not only do we have our software set for August 21st, just for fun, we have it set up for August 21st of 2017, which many of you will remember was the day of the total solar eclipse. And with us running our simulation from here in St. Louis, the eclipse was about 99% total here, so it wasn't a 100% total eclipse. I did get to see it though. I ventured to a location where we had totality, but for this simulation, I thought it would be fun to set it for August 21st, 2017, and get a glimpse of a simulated eclipse before we get started. So we're looking south. And it is 1:16 in the afternoon in St. Louis on August the 21st, 2017. So let's look up here using our simulation at what's going on with the eclipse. And Stellarium is showing us that the sun is almost completely blocked out by the moon. And you can even see Regulus here next to it. And if I remember right, that could be seen on Eclipse Day back in 2017, which was really cool. There's Algebra, so that's Gamma Leonis. Planet Mars was visible in the daytime sky. And if you set Stellarium to run a little faster, you'll actually get to see the sun reappear from behind the moon. So that's a little trip down memory lane from August the 21st, 2017. So let's go ahead and switch to night on that day, and let's pretend that we're going to have the most wonderful astronomy day you can imagine, an eclipse by day and Scorpius by night. So we're going to move up to 9:41 p.m. on that date, and we're going to move to a suburban location. And let's actually make it just a little earlier. So Scorpius is a little higher up. Let's go for 9:10 p.m. on August 21st, 2017. So how to find Scorpius? In the summer months, just look south and look for this line of 3 stars here that sort of resemble Orion's belt. And you'll see this long pattern that sort of resembles the letter J. Or, for the more imaginative among us, Scorpion's claws here, the body, and then this curl down here is the stinger of the scorpion. So let's have a look at our constellation lines. And you can see Scorpius is represented by this J-shaped line here, with the claws being right here. So and with Antares, this real red star here at the heart of the scorpion. So that's the best way to find Scorpius. It's really a signpost of the sky. And to me, it's a signpost of summer, the way Orion is the signpost of winter. And what's interesting about it is it has these 3 stars here that remind you of Orion's belt. And Scorpius and Orion can never be in the sky at the same time because they're on opposite sides of the sky. So half the year you've got Orion's belt, and the other half you have the 3 stars here of Scorpius's claws. Let's have a look at the mythical figures. And here you can see Scorpius is drawn here with a stinger here at the end. It's actually one of the few constellations that looks like what it represents. I mean, it actually does look like a scorpion here with a stinger. I think that's cool. A Scorpius is along the ecliptic, which means that which means the sun passes through it, as do the moon and planets. The sun enters Scorpius each year on on November the 23rd, and the sun exits Scorpius and enters Ophiuchus on November the 29th. So it's crossing this real narrow part of Scorpius here. So the sun only spends about a week within the constellation of Scorpius, which is very interesting. The rest of the time here before it enters Sagittarius, it does go through Ophiuchus. So we'll talk about Ophiuchus in the next tour. That's kind of an interesting story. Okay, we do have some double stars in Scorpius that we can talk about. We'll start with Beta Scorpi. And it's shown here in Stellarium as a 2.6 magnitude double star, 530 light years from Earth. And through the finder here, you can see a companion star just above it. So this is listing Beta as Beta 1. So what's this above it? That's not Beta 2. So let's see. No, that's something else. So let's have a closer look here. And I don't think this is it either. Well, it's just a background star. There we go. So Beta does split. Actually splits really nicely. Okay, let's go back out to a naked eye view. And let's look for another double star. Let's look for Zeta Scorpio. That one doesn't come up. I spelled it wrong. There we go. That one's really low in the sky. It's listed as Zeta 1. So there we go. That's a nice little double there. There's Zeta 2. And there's another one right there. So that's just a background star. So your double stars right here. That one's a really nice one. I like the way that one looks. There's something satisfying about really easy to split double stars that aren't too far apart. Especially if they have a little bit of color to them. It looks like this one has a darker gold, this a little bit lighter of a gold, and you've got some background stars here that have some interesting patterns to them. Magnitude 4.7. Okay, we have another double star to look for within Scorpius, and that's New Scorpi. That one's listed as a multiple star. And that one looks like it's right above this line of 3 stars here. So that looks like it would be an easy one to find. Star hop to. It's magnitude 4. Through the finder, you even get a little nebulosity here and some nice background stars. And through my 24mm panoptic, you can just see that that new is just starting to split, and with some background stars here and some nice nebulosity. That's one to go look for. I like that one. I don't know if I've ever observed that one. Most of the double stars on my list for these tours are coming from the Astronomical League's list of 100 double stars, but some of them here come from other sources. So let's look for another double star. Let's look for Omega Scorpi. I think that's one I looked at before. I think we were pretty close to it. It's in the same region. Yeah, because we were up here before. Yeah, this is new Scorpi is right here, and this one down here is Omega Scorpi 1, and there's Omega Scorpi 2. So these are really close to each other through the finder. They should look really good through a wide angle eyepiece. There you go, those Omega 2. And let's see, is this Omega 1? I think they're too far apart. I think yeah, they're too far apart. Let's see. I don't know what it's showing me here. No, they're not. They're not too far apart. There we go. That's Omega 1. This is Omega 2. It's real easy to get lost in the stars, believe me. You think you know what you're looking at, and nope, that's not what you think it is. So that looks like a good one to search for. Okay, Scorpius is home to many Messier and deep sky objects, and I've got a few here listed. Let's go for M4. Very easy to find because of its proximity to Antares. So all you have to do is find Antares and put that in your finder, and you'll see this globular cluster right here within range of your finder. That is M4. And for some reason, Stellarium likes you to search for it before it'll give you the data on it. Yeah, there's M4. See, if I click on it, it's just going to give me the name of that star there in the middle or some other background star. So if you're using Stellarium and you want to click on some of the bigger deep sky objects, sometimes it's not giving you what you expect, and just use the search function to locate it. And you'll get all the data on it. Distance is 7,100 light years from Earth, magnitude 6. And through a wide angle eyepiece. Now this is simulating my experience with M4 pretty closely. M4 is a large, bright, globular cluster, but with it being in Scorpius, it's usually pretty low in the sky, so the atmosphere that you have to look through kind of dims it somewhat, so it's always a little bit of a disappointment when it comes to brightness. I mean, it's a big cluster, but it's always dimmed by its low position on the sky. If you had a chance to see it from a more southern location where it was higher in the sky, it would probably be a lot more impressive. Okay, let's go back out to naked eye view. And let's look for M6 and M7. They're two of the most southerly open clusters that you can go for on the Messier list. Start with M6. It says here it's also known as the butterfly cluster, 4th magnitude, 1,600 light years from Earth. If I remember right, M6 and M7 are actually quite pretty. And even through the finder here, you can see it's colorful and it's bright. Really looks good through a low power eyepiece. Stellarium's doing a real good job of simulating what it really looks like. I'm really impressed with this. That is pretty accurate. Gorgeous. And M7, I believe this is M7 right here. Let's let Stellarium tell us. Yep. And again, M7 is pretty impressive too through the finder and through a low power eyepiece. So I really recommend looking at M6 and M7 through a low power eyepiece during the short time that Scorpius is visible in the summer months. It's really worth a look. Okay, I have one more open cluster on my list in Scorpius, and it's on the NGC list. It's NGC 6231. Also a Caldwell object, Caldwell 76, magnitude 2.6, located 4,000 light years from Earth. Now, this is really, really close to the horizon. And if I remember right, the last time I was out, just a couple of weeks ago, I actually observed, because I'm recording this in July of 2020, but I actually observed this object in the sky, and it's these two stars down here really ring a bell. It's actually this little triangle here. Really nice open cluster. It's also known as the Northern Jewel Box. Okay, well, this concludes my tour of Scorpius, one of the finest constellations in the night sky. Good night and good seeing.